Hello Gemini, thank you for tuning in to your general read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Lima Tarot by Renata Lechner. For the supportive oracle cards, the Psychic Tarot for the Heart Oracle deck by John Holland. If you look at any of the water signs, I use this deck with another oracle deck. I changed that because this, even though it says tarot, it feels more like an oracle deck to me, and I felt like two oracle decks were a little bit redundant. So, in case you see one of those readings and you're wondering why I switched it up, that's why I switched it up. Alright. Already shuffled. Okay. Alright. I got love on your side. So you got love on your side. And I feel like that's what's motivating this. This seems to be coming in a little later, but I feel like this is a big piece of this. Like everything is coming forward in the future here because of the love that you're feeling and what you want to go towards. It doesn't have to be romantic love. It could be a passion or something really exciting you that you want to go towards. So it doesn't have to be romantic love in that sense for another person, but it's definitely more than likely, because that's kind of how this feels. Now, as you're coming into this situation, I'm getting the Three of Wands in the sense of like whatever you're dealing with, and for some of you this is definitely a work situation. You're looking for other opportunities, you're looking for other possibilities. If it's more of the love thing, I feel like you're just a little bit discontent. So you're already feeling that way. And I feel like that might be a mutual, or it may seem mutual. Like that could go a few different categories, but when you come into this, you're already looking for a change. And I'm getting, you also got this change your focus going on here. Like you're going from the part where you're feeling like you'd like a change to where you're actively looking for one. And as you actively look for one, you're now going into the Nine of Wands, where you're kind of like, the phase of like realizing you want to do that is over. It's now time to start the next part of this situation. The next phase needs to come in where you actively start making that happen. This card is a little interesting in this deck for me. It goes usually that way. The thing is, once you get to that spot where you're committed to like, all right, now that I know I really do want out, and I've kind of started to look, like you start to feel that way, you start to look, but after you look, like, because you're just like toying with the thought and just seeing what's actually available out there, when you get to that point, that's when you're like, you know what, no, I really do want to move on from this. I really want this to change. Once you commit to that part and you get to that spot, soon after is when this card pops in, the love card, which I think I might have said, or showed you, I should say. I know I said it, but I don't know if I showed you it. You're finding exactly what you want, and you're very excited about going towards it. So this is now driving the situation. You go from not really liking the situation, where you're going from kind of wanting out of the situation to checking out possibilities to like then coming to that realization, like, no, I definitely want out. Then the motivation, like, it goes right in succession that way. Like something gets right in front of your face and you're like, that's what I want. That's what I need to go for. And you're going towards it. Now, the situation you're dealing with, though, if it's a work situation or if it's a person, however that is, they're not catching on that you're looking to move on. I don't feel like they're getting it. Not in the beginning. I feel like you're playing a very good poker face, though. It's not that you don't want this out there for other people to know until you've made your move. So when I'm getting the Knight of Pentacles on the other side has no clue of what's going on, of how you're feeling, about what type of change is going on for you. I don't feel like they get it at all. But what I do see is on your side, you're making changes, you're making plans, you're moving forward with plans, and I feel like in the beginning it's just a little bit more quiet. You're putting things in place, you're setting up the situation so you can actually move forward, and you're just trying to make it so like when it starts happening, it just kind of naturally goes in its own flow, and it just kind of happens. So you're setting up the pieces so that when they fall over, it's just going to easily go forward the way you want it to. It's a very smart way to handle it, because it's kind of like get it all set up and all in position. That way when it starts going, when it starts happening, it just naturally flows where you need it to flow. It doesn't take as much effort. There's going to have to be some effort, of course, but it's already kind of in line with where you want to go. Are we good? Okay. And I'm getting the Knight of Pentacles. Like, I feel like, really with this one, it really feels like the reason you have the Knight of Pentacles is because you know where you want to go. You seem to have it set up to go that way. When you bring it forward to the other side, like this change is happening, you have everything set in line. You're very confident and very happy where things are. You even understand, even though you realize the other side may not be very excited about what you're doing, you're feeling very comfortable because you're like, it's already in place. Everything is already set up, so I know what's going to happen next. It's just kind of going with the flow of it at this point. I'm getting you're very comfortable because of that. All right, Knight of Pentacles. The other side, be it a work situation or a person, however this is happening, they didn't see it coming is what I'm getting for one. And you really did set this up well. You planned it very well is what I'm getting. They don't like it, but they're realizing there's nothing they can do about it. I feel like the way you set it up, you set it up pretty well. You did really good to change this. You set it up exactly the way you wanted it to happen. The Three of Swords is telling me there's nothing you can do, or nothing they can do to change your mind. And I feel like there's a little bit of sadness. Well, a little bit. There's heartbreak. The Three of Swords is heartbreak. The other side, or whoever you're dealing with, would rather you didn't change or go. They really don't like that this is ending the way it is. And I'm getting like they're really unhappy about it. So if it's a work situation, they really don't want you to go. If it's a person, they really don't want this change. They're heartbroken. Either way, they're very sad to see you go. Let's put it that way. But I'm getting, once it's in place, once you've put it forward and things are just flowing along easily because you set it up that way, I'm getting that whatever the situation is, they're keeping it to themselves. The Master card with the feeling alone is like, I feel like they're detaching from you, but they're still very sad about the change. Whoever it is, whether it's a work situation or actually a person-to-person thing, they're not really bothering you in the sense of like they're not letting you know how they feel, or they're not pushing forward how they feel to you. They're not trying to, I don't feel like they're even trying to change your mind, and it might be because of the way you set it up. It's just on its own current. There's really nothing they feel like they can do. So the Master with the feeling alone is like, I feel like this person or people, whoever it is, they feel a little despondent about it. They don't like it, but they're keeping it to themselves. And I'm getting on your side, when you're seeing this happen, you have is it the Hermit card? Yeah. You're wondering why, because I feel like you're not getting any type of response after that. After you put it forward and things start happening, you're like, I'm changing, this is the change, and it just starts happening, you're not really seeing any type of reaction. And I'm getting that's why, because they don't feel like whoever this is doesn't feel like there's anything they can do to change your mind anyway. They're just keeping their emotions to themselves. They are unhappy about it, and they are sad about it, but you're not really getting any feedback about that. And I'm getting the Hermit card for you is kind of like wondering, like, is this going as smoothly as it seems? Because you're not really seeing, there's no disruption in your flow. Things are just kind of, you set it up very well, and it's just going forward without a hitch. And the Hermit card on your side is making me feel like it's going so smoothly that you're kind of questioning, like, is this really, like, this is not a big deal? Like, nobody seems to be bothered? Like, I'm getting away with this that easily? Like, that's fine. That's interesting. But I didn't expect it to go that smoothly. But that's what I'm getting is happening here. What do we got? This is where it's ending. On your side, you have the Queen of Swords. I'm getting you're cutting ties here. Now, you know what's about to happen. I feel like this is coming in sooner than expected. Because with the Hermit card coming in here, and you're not getting any feedback, nobody seems to be that distraught about you leaving or moving or changing or whatever you're doing. You're thinking, you know what, if it's not really that big a deal, why drag it out? And you move your plans up. The Queen of Swords is like you're moving your plans up to me, and you're deciding like I'm just gonna cut ties quick. Why drag it out? I'm getting you change your mind about how you're handling it, and you cut it closer. You know, you make it short, the transition shorter. I just feel like you're like, why drag this out? If it doesn't seem to be bothering anybody and nobody seems to be giving me any pushback, why not just cut ties and move on? Why not just make it a clean break? And that's how she's coming through. And you're thinking like that's the better way to do it. Like I'm not seeing any adversity. Why drag it out? When that happens, because I feel like you're making that decision, and I feel like that might be why this reading, if this is coming to you and the rest of this is hitting, that might be why this is coming. Because when you do that, that's when that creates a tower moment. It seems to throw your plans off, and it seems to shock other people. I feel like you might want to double think this, because the Tower card will result in this. You're still going to get what you want. You're still going to get what you want, but if you cut this short, I'm getting like this is going to create a Tower moment for you and for the other people involved. Like this could make a bad moment that you don't really want. Either way, you're going to get this love you're going for, whatever this passion is that you found, you're going to end up there. So you're still going to end up at that moment. I don't feel that changing. But this moment, like I don't really feel like you want this Tower card. And I'm getting that you maybe don't want to change your plans, maybe think this through a little bit more. Just because it doesn't seem like anybody seems to be minding doesn't mean that they don't. And I'm getting if you cut this short, if you cut this to the quick, you're going to create a Tower moment for yourself as well as other people. And I don't feel like that's really what you want. So the Tower card is a major arcana. It's usually unavoidable. I don't feel like that's the case here, though. I feel like you actually can, you can just stick with your plan and be okay, but it's just like, realizing like you're heading for a Tower moment if you cut it quick. Because I feel like that's what they're saying. If you cut it quick, you're going to have a Tower moment. If you keep going on schedule, like on plan, like you planned out before this, if you keep it to that plan, I don't feel like it's going to be that big of a deal. Not as bad as it feels like when you cut it to the quick, at least. Done? Okay, I feel like we got the message out. All right, I'm going to let that be there. Thank you for watching. Of course, if you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.